Hi there, Stephen D here. I'm coming to you via video today because I'm not feeling particularly well, but you didn't click on my video to watch this if you wanted to hear about my medical complaints, so we'll pass those by. This is what I hope is going to be the beginning of a series of videos on this vlog that will discuss something I think that we really need to do in addition to all the other possible actions that are being considered at this point in time in our history. I know a lot of people are discussing capturing the Democratic Party from within in order to advance a progressive agenda. I know others are advocating just as strongly for a third party, whether a new third party or the Green Party. And I know that there are people who are adamant about protesting in the streets, marches, rallies. And these are all good options, I suppose. But at the present time, what we seriously lack in this country is unity, at least unity of information. And one of the things that we really lack information about across the majority of our people is information about the corruption of our government and of the corporations and the deep state, if you will, if you like to call it that, or neo-fascist regime, whatever you want to call what we've become. Because we are no longer, our government no longer represents the people of the United States. And so what I'm proposing, and I can't really fund this or do this by myself, so I'm hoping that other people will pick up the ball here for me. But what I'm proposing is that we begin a series of trials, public trials, the people of the United States versus the U.S. government, people of the United States versus the Pentagon, for example, or versus particular figures in our government's past, including former presidents. And by former presidents, I mean every single one of them. Carter, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, father and son, and of course Presidents Clinton and Obama. Trials that would bring to the fore the damage that they've done internationally with war crimes, and also the crimes that they have committed against the people of the United States and their failure. And you can list these as either negligence or intentional torts, if you like. But the intentional actions to sabotage the economic prospects of the people they were elected to represent. In similar fashion, I think we need to come, and I will flesh this out in the future, a series of public trials brought by the people of the United States against corporations such as Exxon, who we now know had prior knowledge of the greenhouse gas effect and the effect that the continued use of its product, oil, gas, etc., would have upon the planet as early as the 1970s, 1980s, and yet continued to fund and deny, and fund deniers, and fund science, junk science, to say that this isn't really happening and there's a controversy. That is simply a crime against humanity. And I say that the people of the United States need to do this because our government isn't doing it. Our government did not prosecute the people who committed fraud on Wall Street and in the big banks after the 2008 financial crisis and the collapse and the near collapse into a Great Depression worldwide, brought on by those banks and the fraud they committed. And it doesn't appear that our current president isn't inclined to either, since he's hired or intends to hire many of the same people from Goldman Sachs and other, similarly situated institutions to lead his economic recovery team. So, and I should have said, I left out, we need to also, as part of those trials, include Donald Trump, because now he is a participant. Now he himself has authorized illegal actions and committed war crimes against the people of Yemen, and no doubt other places we have not yet heard about. So with that said, I'd like to ask anybody who sees this, who works for the government, works for any of these companies, corporations. We have much of this information already available to us, but I imagine there's quite a trove of materials that could be leaked, let's say, to the folks at WikiLeaks or to other people. I don't know. Obviously you can't trust, I don't believe, our media, and they would be another group that certainly deserves consideration for being tried by the people of the United States. And like I said, in the future I will hope to flesh out some of this, starting next with what I consider to be one of the most serious ones, and that's crimes committed against, war crimes committed against the rest of the world by the United States and its presidents, starting with Carter, Reagan, Bush the First, Clinton, Bush the Second, Obama, and Donald Trump. But for now, I'd like all of you to, if you can, share this video and make your own recommendations. There may be other corporations besides, the banks and ExxonMobil and the big oil companies and the fossil fuel companies and the Koch brothers that they're well deserving of having the people of the United States try them. And where would these tribunals be held? Well, I think they should be held online, and we should have people who either can testify directly about what these companies or individuals or the government has done, or we can have them read the documents that indicate the crimes that were committed against both here and abroad. So that is that's my vision. That's the purpose of this video today. Like I said, it's sort of a prologue, let's consider it, preliminary, starting point, something to get you thinking, something to get you talking, something to think about how we can best disseminate information to everyone in the United States, accurate information, truthful information about the crimes that are being committed in our name and the corruption of our political system. Because we know that our judicial system has failed us and will not do this. We know that our legislative system has failed us. They're bought and paid for. They're bought and paid for by the very corporations that have contributed greatly to the damage that's been done to the planet and to the individual lives of so many millions of people in America and around the world. So it's time that we did our own trials. Now, we don't have the ability to compel people to testify like the government does. We don't have the ability to compel corporations to hand over documents like the government does. So as I said, any information that can be collected would be appreciated. And specifically, information that's not already out there in the public domain. And if there's been information that's been scrubbed from the internet, it would be helpful if people would put that back up, if they have the ability to do so. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully I'll be coming back for you with more soon. I thank you for your time. This is Stephen D. signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye.